There's an old mill building here in Dover, New Hampshire that sits right on the Cocheco River's edge.
That's right, Jeff. It's aptly named Cocheco Mill. Its earliest sections date back to the 1880s.
Sometimes at night, people will report seeing strange lights coming from the fourth floor. They hear the sounds of machines starting and stopping, echoing throughout the empty hallways, and disembodied voices have been known to cry out and then fade. This mill building is haunted. I'm Jeff Belanger.
And I'm Ray Auger, and this week on the New England Legends podcast, we're searching for ghosts in Dover, New Hampshire. Jeff, why is this building said to be haunted?
So often when tragedy strikes, it leaves a mark, and we're haunted by that event later on. It's like a stain that can never be washed away.
I can appreciate that. So what happened here?
To answer that, Ray, we're going to have to travel back in time to more than a century ago. The Cocheco Mill manufactured cotton fabrics and products. By the early 1900s, this factory was both productive and dangerous. There's the cotton and many moving machine parts used to spin it into fabric, and the machines generated a lot of heat. They required oil to keep them lubricated. Then there's the actual fabric. Fire is always a concern.
Now, I understand the Cocheco Mill had a pretty elaborate sprinkler system for that very reason. In fact, I read that the mutual insurance company ranked Cocheco Mills as, quote, excellent in regard to safety.
All true, until it isn't true.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Check out this January 26, 1907 headline from the Portsmouth Herald.
It reads, Dover stricken, great fire stuns people of the city. Appalling loss of life and property.
While you read through that, ponder this. Often when there's been a tragic death, a haunting follows. It's not a steadfast rule, but it comes up quite a bit.
I can't believe I'm going to offer this seemingly inappropriate cliche, but I guess where there's smoke, there's fire.
That's right. And the fire at this mill left 6 people dead and many more injured. Let's set the stage. It's early on a frigid Saturday morning, about 6:10 a.m. on January 26, 1907. The workday is just starting when a sprinkler head on the 4th floor of Mill Number 1 goes off due to some malfunction. Water, especially in the winter, can be a big problem. So the supervisors follow their protocol and shut off the main valve to the sprinkler system in the building.
Did the production machine shut down during all this?
No, and that's part of the problem. With the water shut off at the main in the building, the pipes are still leaking as they continue to drain. So the supervisor pulls workers off their machine to help find buckets to catch the leak until the water stops. Dripping water could ruin the machinery and the fabric being produced. It's their highest priority until someone smells smoke. It's 6:30 a.m. now, and there's smoke coming from one of the main belt boxes that drive the machinery. This belt passes through the card room on the floor below, and when workers peered into the box, they can see flames shooting out and spreading quickly.
And with the sprinkler system shut off, well, talk about bad timing.
The worst timing possible. Though the exact cause of the fire is forever unknown, one plausible theory is that the dripping water hit the belt, causing it to slip and shift off its pulley and start rubbing against the wooden box frame. That friction caused the wood to heat up until it combusted. But no matter the cause, flames are now shooting out in all directions and smoke is filling the rooms. Other employees are now trying their best to form a bucket brigade as they wonder why the sprinkler system isn't kicking on. They're unaware it's been shut off. The fire spreads to other floors and now everyone understands it's time to make an escape if they can.
As the fire continues to consume the rooms, workers spread the word it's time to evacuate. On the lower floors, this isn't a big problem just yet. Many employees file out in orderly fashion, but on the 4th floor, the workers are now just noticing the fire. From the account I read, they're kind of indifferent. It turns out seasoned mill workers have pretty much all seen a fire or two in their day.
And that's right, but this one is different because there's no sprinkler system now, and the fire is still spreading. Some of the workers on the upper floors are trapped.
The article describes how Fred Dorcom jumped from a window on the 3rd story and drove one of his legs into his body, leaving him in serious condition.
Ouch.
And Peter Torraine also jumped from a window and broke one of his legs.
Those who could escape did, but 4 people would die in this blaze, and 2 more would later succumb to their injuries. It took firefighters 36 hours to fight the blaze in the freezing cold. With water freezing and sub-zero temps, this was a nightmare of a blaze. It would eventually level the building and forever leave a scar on Dover.
To me, eyewitness accounts are always powerful, and this one comes from an unusual source. Across the street from the Cocheco Mill sits the Dover Jail. A prisoner watched the entire event out of his window and wrote a poem about what he witnessed.
Firemen grieving and struggling bravely. People running, rushing madly. Hear the shrieks amid that chaos of despair. Some are helping, toiling blindly. Others soothing, in tones kindly. Oh God, 'tis more than human eyes can bear. What a sense of sickly terror. Heartstrings broke in silent horror. A melancholy spell, hands in the air. See the flares keep leaping higher, dancing around that funeral pyre, leaving nothing but the brick walls grim and bare. There's no time for idle theory. How to reach them is the query. But the firemen see the folly of such pains, for although they may be living, that no other power save heaven can save them from that cruel, heartless flames. Women shrieking, wildly sobbing, black despair their senses robbing, calling for their loved ones, but in vain. For their spirits have departed, leaving friends here heartbroken, full of death, dividing anguish, grief and pain.
The mill would be rebuilt the following year and continued to operate as a manufacturing building until the 1940s, when the city took over and sublet the space to smaller manufacturers. But in recent years, it's become a series of flats, studios, and apartments. And I guess some of those tenants are finding out their living quarters might already be occupied.
And this gets down to the ghost experience right here. And what a ghost may be. This tragic event has happened in other mills in other places. And of course, it could happen again tomorrow. I feel like sometimes these events are burned into some collective place memory. Even if you were never told what happened in the mill building, it's almost like you pick up on something you can't quite put your finger on. This may explain why some people still see the flashing lights, they hear the long-removed machinery, and those echoes of the voices of the past still call out to us with a warning. This place has burned before.
To see some photos of the Cocheco Mill fire, you can visit our website at OurNewEnglandLegends.com and click on this episode.
You can also listen to all our past episodes there, plus leave comments or ideas on future subjects you'd like to see us cover.
Until next time, remember, the bizarre is closer than you think.